Hey y'all, welcome back to another vlog. I'm so excited to be sharing my February testimony with you all. So if you already watched my January testimony part 1 and part 2, then you know that I always record the videos a month ahead. Because obviously I have to live through the month in order to testify about it. But I'm excited for this one. I actually had 2 books. This one was already pretty much full when I did the first video, but then I started a new book. This one's so cute, from Target. It was like $8. I started a new book at the beginning of February, like February 6th, I think. So yeah, but like I said, I really hope you guys enjoyed the last video. You seem like you did. I got a lot of views, I got a lot of comments, and I hope that that video really blessed y'all. So let's quickly hop into February because I don't want to waste time. I really want this to be a 1-part testimonial and not a 2-part testimonial, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I was just going through February 1st. February really flew by, even though it was a leap year or a leap month. I don't know. But we had an extra day in February. And I didn't even realize until like the day came, and it was so weird because I'm like, wow, we're on February 29th. Like, this day won't ever happen again until, I don't know how often leap years happen. I think like every 4 or 5 years. I don't know, but it just felt so surreal. Like, it's actually supposed to be March 1st, but it's really February 29th. And on that day, which I'll get to it, on that day, someone that I was on a prayer call with had a baby. So I'm like, okay, when people's birthdays fall on a leap year / day, how does that work? Like, how often do you celebrate your birthday? Every year? Or like, that's confusing. I don't know. But okay, so February 1st. So February 1st, was a busy day for me. I actually went to a coffee, I had an in-person coffee chat with a woman by the name of Morgan that I recently connected with. I actually met her at the event that I went to in January. Remember that event I talked about? My friend Ria's mom, she hosted a brunch, and I met Morgan at the brunch. Morgan is a friend of Ria's sister. And Morgan, I had complimented her on her purse. She was like, oh, I love your dress. Like, we just started talking, and she basically told me that she was hosting an event in April, and she was looking for panelists. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm trying to get back into speaking. Like, I'm a stylist, a style savant. Like, this is what I do, this is what I believe in, this is what I stand for. And she's like, I would love to have you. So she invited me to be a part of her event in April, y'all. I'm so excited. She already released the tickets, but I haven't gotten a flyer just yet, but I'm sure that'll come sometime this month. But okay, on February 1st, I had quite a busy day. I connected with Morgan and experienced the new coffee shop. So she actually wanted to go to Llama's Corner, which is a Black-owned, women-owned, or family-owned coffee shop in Baltimore. Funny enough, when I got there, I had actually realized that I had been in that coffee shop before, but obviously it was a different name, different owner, whatever. So I loved that I was able to experience her coffee shop and support them. The women who worked there were super nice, super sweet, really allowed us to like taste the different coffees. So I definitely want to go back because I haven't been since. I was able to see my boyfriend and spend some time with him. Also had a really great style breakthrough session. And this style breakthrough session I talked about in the first testimony. It was a woman who ended up not moving forward. I'm glad that I gave her the opportunity to connect with me and learn more about what I do. So she might come back around. She might spin the block. You never know. But I mean, I'm not to say that I'm used to women not moving forward with me, but I kind of got in a space where, okay, I know what I offer, I know my value, I'm confident in that, and I'm standing on that. And whoever is ready to experience that with me will move forward, and whoever isn't just isn't ready, and that's okay. So, and I told myself, you know, I know you're making more room for another client who is even better. I also received $75 which I will sew into my nephew's fundraiser. So I believe my uncle gave me another $75 to helping him that week. And I ended up sewing that into my nephew Jet's fundraiser. He was doing some type of fundraiser in February. So I was able to do that for him. So I was thankful for that. Day 2, on February 2nd, I had my style transformation consultation and it went really well. I'm so happy to be working with my client and I'm looking forward to seeing how we transform her life. So I had the style transformation consultation. Y'all, I love like words that rhyme. I love like puns. I love all the things. But sometimes it'd be a lot to say, but it's all right. I had the style transformation consultation with my client Stacy, which went really, really well. And it was just a good experience. It was our first call. It was our first session. I was able to take her measurements, determine her body shape and do all the things and really just talk through like what her goals were and for this experience and what she wanted to get out of it and all those things. So it was a really, really good session. It was also payday and I was able to budget out everything that I needed. I even paid less for my nails, which was a pleasant surprise. I'm excited to see what you do next. This is me talking to God. So y'all, I've been getting my nails done consistently since my birthday, January 6th. And if you know me, you know I love getting my nails done. I don't get acrylic, I just get gel overlay on my real nails. I consistently started getting my nails done again. Was it during the pandemic? I think I like started during the pandemic, but no, I'm lying. I think it was 2022 when I consistently started getting my nails done again. And I was going to a different nail shop. I was going to a natural nail shop in Eldersburg here in Baltimore, here in Maryland. And I loved it. I love getting my nails done there. I love getting my toes done there. And, you know, sometimes they would do a good job. Sometimes, you know, it would be really, really great. But I was specifically going to like a nail tech that I really, really loved how she did my nails. I loved her work and everything. And I would do like different designs here and there. Because I was laid off, lost my job in January 2023, I hadn't really gotten an opportunity to start getting my nails done again. Like basically the entire year. I think I got my nails done like once. The last time I got them done was like July. And I hadn't really been back since. But I also was in the process of trying to find a Black-owned nail salon. But a lot of the Black nail techs here in Baltimore, they aren't in a salon. It's either their home or they're in a suite and it's just them doing nails. So like their availability is limited, long time, like they don't do toes. Like it's just a lot of stipulations sometimes with a lot of the Black nail techs that I was coming across. So it's funny because a Black owned nail salon had just opened up in like the Towson area called Nova Nails. And it's actually run by one of our homeboys that I think he went to Newtown. I think he's a year younger than us, or a year younger than me, but I just know him from being around. And he opened up a Black-owned nail salon. So I started following them on social media. I saw all the nail techs they had, and I booked an appointment. Got my nails done for the first time, I want to say in December of 2023. And I've been going there ever since, y'all. And I will say their prices are a little bit more than what I was paying previously, but it's so worth it because I just love being able to support a Black-owned nail salon, number one. And number two, like I can call and make an appointment. I can do a walk-in. I go to the same nail tech. She always does my nails great. So yeah, and I say that to say I'm thankful that I've been able to consistently get my nails done since December of 2023 up until now. We're now in March. Oh yeah, happy March, happy Women's Month. That was definitely a blessing because I love getting my nails done. I hate not having them done. I feel like it's equivalent to not getting your hair done. Like when my nails aren't done, I just don't feel good. So they need to be done now, but they look okay. But moving on to day 3. So on February 3rd, I attended the shopping event at Anine Bing and captured some content. So I'm also a stylist for Anine Bing. I partnered with them to host events at their space and to also just like promote their clothing. Anine Bing is such a cute brand. We only have one store in Maryland, I think, only in Bethesda. So that's the store that I go to, obviously. I also met up with one of my old college friends, Jade, and enjoyed my time with her and her daughter. So it's so funny because I had promoted or was promoting and marketing the styling event at Anita Bing. And that weekend, it was that Saturday, and the week, like a couple of days before, I had posted it on LinkedIn. And my friend Jade, who I haven't talked to or seen honestly since college, reached out to me and was like, hey girl, I just moved back to Maryland, or I just moved to Maryland. I would love to hang out. I live in Bethesda. And I'm like, girl, I'm literally going to Bethesda this Saturday. Like, let's meet up. Like, how funny is that? We met up for lunch. It was such a good time. It was such a good time, like catching up with her, meeting her daughter for the first time, and just, you know, being around her. I haven't really seen her since college. She looks exactly the same. But yeah, it was so nice. And she showed me her apartment. It was just such a beautiful, like, connection. So I actually ended up inviting her to the Valentine's Day event, or the Galentine's Day event that I went to, and she came out to Baltimore with her daughter, and she really had a good time. So I'm glad we were able to connect. And also on that same day, a woman that I met at the Baltimore Chamber of Commerce event that I had mentioned in the January testimony had scheduled a style breakthrough session with me. So it was a good day. It was a good day. On February 4th, I attended church and Jordan came with me. I'm always like, you want to go to church? You want to go to church? She's like, yeah. So we had went to church, and ironically, we had got there and it was full. We had to park in the back, and they had offered us seats in the front row. I never sit in the front row at church, because I don't know. I like sitting in the middle, or like, you know, the first back section. I don't know, but I just don't really like sitting in the front row. So we sit in the front row and we're listening to, you know, the announcements. Jordan looks over to his right, your left, my right, and he sees his pastor. He taps me on the shoulder. He like, my pastor is the guest pastor today. He's like, did you know he was coming? I'm like, no, I had no idea. So his pastor from his church apparently knows my pastor at my church, and he was the guest pastor at our church for that day. How funny. And it was so cool because God made it work to a point where he set us right in the front. So his pastor, when he was preaching, saw him and mentioned him while he was preaching. So how cool is that? I said, funny enough, his pastor was actually the guest pastor for the day, and we had no idea. I was able to go to the market and grab a few things and listen in to the first Primerica call. Also recorded my testimonial video for January, and I can't wait to share it. So I recorded that video on February 4th on a Sunday. So yeah, that was a really sweet surprise to see that his pastor was there. So moving on to February 5th. On February 5th, I finished the workshop proposal and sent it out to the 3rd the next morning. I'm praying that what I'm requesting works and that this will be the space that is a part of your plan. So I don't know if I mentioned this in the last testimonial video, but I am hosting a workshop series called the Style Evolution Workshop Series. And part 1 is actually happening on Saturday, March 30th from 11 to 2 in Baltimore, Maryland. And this was in February when I was trying to quickly solidify a location for my workshop. I did not want to pay for a space. I did not want to come out of pocket for any of that. So I wanted to reach out to some spaces that I knew would be interested in partnering or collaborating with me to allow me to host my series there for free. When I had told y'all I had went to the 3rd in the last testimonial video, I had connected with the founder, and like a couple of days later, I sent over a proposal. Now, she had already told me the price point of the venue, and y'all, it was, no offense to her, get your money sis, but it just wasn't in my budget. And it was actually way out. I didn't even have a budget set because, like I said, I wasn't trying to pay for anything, but it was way more than what I even expected it would have been. So I took it upon myself to reach out and, you know, propose a free space. And unfortunately, she couldn't allow it at the time. So I ended up finding a new space, which I'll talk about here in this testimonial, that I was able to get free of charge. So yeah, if you're listening into this and you want to attend the workshop series, I'll attach the link to the series below for part 1 for you to register. And yeah, I'm excited for it. Although the 3rd didn't work out as of now, I'm hoping that we can partner later in the future. Let's see. Oh, this is the end. This is the end of the journal, y'all. So this one is done. Now we're moving on to this one. And my handwriting got so much better in this journal. On February 6th, I had a style breakthrough session with a potential client and it went really well. Although she wasn't ready for me now, she's looking forward to working with me next month. So happy March. I'm looking forward to reaching out to her this month. Today was also the information session for Increase 365 2024. And she broke down our new fasting schedule and released the details for the first praise and worship session in Baltimore, which I'm looking forward to. So y'all, I am in the middle of a fast right now. So Increase 365, the organization I said I was a part of, we ended the 2023 cohort at the end of January. And we started the 2024 cohort, I think I'm saying that word right, cohort on February 1st, 2024. So the 365 days always starts on February 1st. So we started the new cohort on February 1st, and she also announced our new fasting schedule. So for 2023, we pretty much fasted every Wednesday from 3 to 3, and we did a dry fast, y'all. We didn't have no food, no water, no nothing. Was it hard? In the beginning, a little bit. But I mean, for me, I spend most of my time like working, like doing administrative stuff. Like I'm always kind of busy. So I really wasn't really thinking about it most days. And of course, when I was thinking about it, I would set aside time to pray and journal and all of those things. So now with the new schedule, we are now fasting for the first 5 days in every month. So we didn't do it for February because it was our first time, getting acclimated. So now that we're in March, we fasted March 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Today is the last day. Today is March 5th. And we fast from 3 to 3. And we're able to drink water. So that's what I've been doing. I actually didn't drink much this morning, but I'm about to drink some now because I'm thirsty. I'm so thankful I have this water bottle because it keeps my water cold and it's good to drink. We started that. Today's the last day. And also I mentioned the supernaturally paid praise and worship session, or supernaturally paid praise and worship service. So Raven has always hosted events. She's been hosting events for as long as I can remember. I think she said since 2013. And this year, God released to her an event called the Supernaturally Paid Praise and Worship Service. And she's gonna have them in different cities. And the first one is in Baltimore. And it's tomorrow. So I'm so excited. I offered to volunteer. So tomorrow from 10 to 12, we have a corporate prayer with everyone in Increase 365 who traveled to Baltimore. So quite a few of the women are in Baltimore. They're traveling today. I pray that they make it here safely. And some of them are already here. And tomorrow is going to be the corporate prayer from 10 to 12. And then the supernaturally paid praise and worship session, or praise and worship service. I keep saying session, but it's praise and worship service, is tomorrow at 6. But volunteers, she asked volunteers to be there tomorrow at 4. So I took off of work and everything, y'all, because I know it's going to be a lot going on. I'm going to be picking up one of my friends that's in the group. I have invited 3 of my other friends to come, so hopefully none of them bluff and they show up. I'm super excited because I don't really know what to expect. So I'm excited to meet a lot of the women from the Increase 365 group. Although I've met quite a few of them already, I haven't met all of them. So even seeing some of them again that I've met previously. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to volunteer. I'm excited for the corporate prayer. And I'm excited, like I said, because I don't necessarily know what to expect. I know she's gonna be like preaching and giving us a word, but she's being led by God to do whatever, he's instructing her to do, which you don't really ever know what that's gonna be like. So I'm super excited, and I'm excited for the friends that I invited to experience it. I know they were asking like, so what is the event about? The event page don't really say much. I'm like, yeah, y'all, just come, just trust me, just come, and you will have a transformation. Your life will be changed, and I'm praying that that is what's going to happen. On February 7th, I was able to open up a checking and savings account for my business. I'm so thankful that I was able to take this step because it is bringing me closer to accomplishing more of my goals. I also confirmed that the third wouldn't be able to sponsor my workshop, so I was looking forward to seeing how God moves. So I'm looking forward to seeing how God moves in that situation. Y'all, I was finally able to open up a checking account. So it's so crazy because I had a business checking account previously. I had it with CQ, State Employees Credit Union of Maryland. I had it with CQ. I've been using CQ for forever. My parents use CQ. They put me on a CQ. So I'm like, why not open a business account with CQ? Cool. Had the business account with CQ. Mind you, business was up and down. I wasn't really making money in my business this particular year, or I didn't make much. I think this was maybe 2021, because 2022 was a good year. I had a lot of business all throughout 2022. I think it was 2021 and possibly 2020 where I didn't have too much business going on, and my checking account, or the business account that I had, kept going into the negatives. And if you're familiar with business accounts, there are fees for when your account goes into the negatives. So every time my account went into the negatives, I was charged $30, y'all. $30. It got to a point where my account was like negative $400 and something because my account just kept going into the negatives. It was so frustrating, so scary, and so irritating. And it got to a point where I just had to close the account, and I ended up just having to pay what was owed. It took me a minute to have to pay that because at the time, 2021, I wasn't working. I got laid off from Amazon December of 2020, and I went into 2021 with no job. And at the time, I wasn't working. I didn't have any money coming in, and it was a hard time, y'all, a hard time. And I had to close my account. They sent my the money that I owed to collections, and yeah. So I ended up being able to pay that money that I owed, and I just ended up opening up a PayPal business account, and had just been using that ever since. It was cool because the PayPal business account, you got cash back when you spent money, and it was easy for me to, keep up with it. It was impossible for the account to go into negatives because it's attached to my personal checking account. So anytime that I was charged for something and I did not have the funds in my PayPal account, it would just charge my checking account. But I don't really think that even ever had to happen, to be honest with you. So I had been using a PayPal checking account in my business for a minute, and I was so eager and excited to open up another business account, but I was afraid because I didn't want to deal with the fees. It's a lot of like different guidelines that go into business accounts that I feel like just aren't set up for small businesses. I feel like it's more so for like larger businesses with employees and things like that. So I definitely knew that I didn't want to go with CQ again. So I was trying to open up a business checking account with another bank. So I looked into Truist, and I can't remember when I went to open an account, but I tried opening up a business account with Truist, and I couldn't because my business was not in good standing. That's when I realized that in 2022, I did not pay my LLC fee of $300. Although, like I told y'all, I was making money consistently all 2022. For some reason, I didn't pay my tithes all year. I don't think. I didn't pay my $300 for my LLC fee, and I didn't even realize it until 2023. So when she told me my business wasn't in good standing, I'm like, what? Okay, that's weird. So I called, and they said, yeah, you didn't pay your LLC fee for 2022. I said, how did I not pay that? Are you sure? So I'm all looking through my emails just to confirm, like, all right, I know I paid that. Like, let me see if I got a receipt. Let me see if I got something to show that I paid my LLC fee for 2022. Y'all did not pay that fee. I did not pay it. So at the time I went ahead and paid my 2023 fee. This was, I didn't realize it until 2023. So I caught up, I paid my 2023 fee, and I still owe for 2022. I haven't paid it yet. It's gonna get paid. Y'all pray for me. But I'm like, well, in order for me to open up a business account, I now have to pay $300 to get myself out of the red. And then I'm gonna need money to actually use to open up the account. But Truist, I think Truist had it was Chase. So I looked into Chase too, and you could open up a business account with $0. But again, going back to the business account, I was afraid because of what happened last time. So I think I was talking to my friend Ria's sister, Kari, who is friends with Morgan. And I was talking to her last year. And she was like, girl, just open up a regular checking account for your business. I'm like, I never thought of that. She's like, yeah, these banks make it seem like the business account is the only option, you know, but it's a lot of fees. It's a lot of stuff that goes into having a business account. I'm like, yeah, I know. So that's one of the reasons why I was afraid to open up another business account. But she's like, just open up a checking account and use it as your business card. I said, okay. She said, that way you don't have to worry about your business being in good standing or whatever. Although, of course, I want my business to be in good standing, but I don't want that to hold me back from having a business checking account or just some type of checking account for my business. So I say all that to say, I ended up going with M&T, and I opened up just a regular checking account. And this checking account is perfect for me because when I get a card, 2, I'm also able to open up different accounts or different sections within that one account where I could split up my business expenses. I could split up my like different businesses within there because I have multiple businesses. So y'all, it was just perfect. My card is super cute, and I could like decorate it and pick out like a design. So it was super cute. And I'm just so glad that I was able to do that because that was something that was weighing on me really, really heavy. It was just a lot just having just the PayPal account because it's not like I could transfer money to savings or whatever. I couldn't do that with PayPal. So I'm so happy that I was able to do that on February 7th. So on February 8th, I was pretty busy with meetings in the morning, but still had more than enough time to complete most of my to-do list, make myself lunch, and work out. Raven also prayed for us during our impromptu info session for the Supernaturally Paid Praise and Worship service. Also had some issues with my new M&T account, and although it frustrated me, I prayed not to worry and that God would fix it. So y'all, like I said, I had just opened up the account. The next day, I couldn't get into my app because they were saying some type of fraud was on my card. So, you know, when you get a new card and, you know, as a business owner, you have, or even just as a regular person, you have a card attached to like different subscriptions that you pay for and things like that. So I'm like, all right, I got my new card. It's not really much money on my PayPal. So let me go ahead and update my subscriptions with my M&T card. Mind you, I didn't have the physical card yet. It takes about 7 business days to get the card, but I had the account numbers. So I was just adding on the account numbers to the subscriptions that I had. So I was able to do it for Stripe. I was able to do it for Square. I was trying to do it for PayPal, but it didn't work. And then I think that's when it triggered fraud. So M&T is really like, I'm thankful that they're like this, but I'm just not used to this. They're really strict with like fraudulent charges. So if they see something that's like super weird or like something that doesn't seem normal, they will literally like close your card off. And that's literally what happened. So I had to call customer service. Customer service transferred me to online banking. Online banking transferred me to fraud. Fraud took forever to answer the call. Finally got on the phone with somebody. She was asking me all of these weird questions like I was doing something wrong. And it's like, I get it. This is fraud. You probably think I'm fraudulent, but I'm not. Literally was telling her like, bro, this is my card. I just opened it yesterday. I don't have the card. Like just answering all the questions she was asking me, but also trying to give her all the information that she wasn't asking for, to just let her know like, bro, it's me, like chill. And it was so frustrating because she was just, the way she was talking to me and the way she was like asking me the questions was very weird, and to me just kind of unprofessional. So I really got frustrated with her. She was like, after asking me all those questions, she was like, okay, well, you'll just have to go into a branch to get them to, you know, unlock your card. I'm like, what? So now the next day I had to go into a branch, and I went to a branch and they ended up calling fraud. I'm like, y'all are literally doing what I did yesterday. What was the point of me coming in here? But the lady was really nice. She called fraud. Of course, nobody got back to her while we were there. So she said, you know, you don't have to sit and wait. You can go ahead and, you know, do whatever you were doing. I'll give you a call when fraud calls me back. So I had to leave because I had a meeting. And on my way back home, she calls me. She's like, yeah, you're going to have to call fraud on your own so that they can, you know, ask you a few more questions. And I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, y'all are literally giving me the runaround. She's like, but just to let you know, they are going to ask you some weird questions. I know you said you felt uncomfortable. That's a part of the procedure. So it's okay. And she was just real reassuring. She was really nice. Called fraud again. I spoke to a different woman who was way nicer. Explained to her, you know, what I was going through, and she was able to get me back into the app, and she was able to get me all set up with the things that I needed. So I was very, very thankful for that. Although, you know, in the back of my mind, I had planned out that specific day to go a certain way. I had to obviously be open to God's plan and what he was doing for me, which I encourage y'all to do, because I feel like we get frustrated when we try to control everything. We try to control everything, and in the back of our minds, we're imagining and thinking, okay, this is gonna go this way. And when that thing doesn't go the way that we had hoped, or the way that we had planned, or the way that we had imagined, then we immediately get frustrated. And I just feel like that's just human nature. Like, that's gonna happen, whatever. But I'm learning that, okay, when things aren't going the way that I imagine them to, God is already working in the background for it to work out in a better way. So yeah, it was frustrating to have to call fraud again, to have to be on hold, to have to go into the branch, to have to do all the things, because that just wasn't a part of what my day was supposed to look like that day. But at the end of the day, it all worked out. I was able to get into the app. I was able to get the help that I needed, and I was good. So yeah. On February 9th, I was able to straighten out my banking app with M&T. Although it didn't work out the way that I had expected it to, it all worked out. I can't wait to get my card in the mail. Also booked another style breakthrough call with a great client, which is great. I got another session booked that same day, and it happened in the midst of me going through that process with M&T. And I think God was he did that to kind of soften my heart a bit, because he knew that, you know, you making money, you know, people are seeing you, people want to work with you, like, relax, you know, it's gonna be all right. And it's so crazy because, like I told y'all, I was able to update my banking information for Square and Stripe, and I'm so glad that I was able to get that done, because when the lady scheduled the breakthrough session with me that day, she used I think it went through Stripe, so I was able to get that money right on my card when it was all when it was all said and done. I said, although she's looking for a stylist for her photo shoot, I'm looking forward to speaking with her and giving her a new perspective about how we can work together. I also took my first class towards my life insurance license, which I am thankful that I was able to make it through. I pray that I'm able to study and retain the information so that I can pass my test. That was a Friday. That was the first day that I took my life insurance license class, the first class, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's a very long class. But needless to say, I was able to get through all of the classes, and I still haven't taken my test yet. Y'all pray for me for that, because I just haven't had the time. I mean, I've had the time, but I haven't had the time at the same time. Y'all know what I mean. So I really want to be able to set aside some time to, like, really study the information so that I can pass the test the first time around. So I'm praying that that all works out, because yeah. On February 10th, I decided not to go to the life insurance class since I wouldn't receive full credit, and I'm glad I didn't. I was able to spend time editing my next vlog. I went for a relaxing walk with Jordan. We went to the Silborn Arboretum. I don't know how to pronounce it, y'all, but it was a nice time. Taylor and Rhea also hosted a Galentine's event that evening, and it was a good time. We ate, we drank, we talked, we made affirmation jars, candles, and painted by number. I really enjoyed myself and invited Jade and her daughter. I hope she had a good time. That next day, after the life insurance class is 3 classes, 20 hours. But from my understanding, if you can't like do half the class and then leave. Like, you gotta stay in the class the entire time in order to get credit for it. So when I realized that, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just not gonna go until the following week, which I was thankful for. I was able to reschedule for the following week to do the last 2 classes. I wasn't able to go to the second class because I really wanted to attend the Galentine's event that my friends were hosting that year. It was the first time, or this year, it was the first time we actually did something like this, so I really wanted to be there. Although I still could have attended after the class, I would have been tired and I would have just missed everything. I feel like I decided to not attend the class, but I'm so glad that I didn't, because that day was a nice day. I was able to go for a walk, spend some time with Jordan, and then make it to the Galentine's Day event. And like I told y'all, I also was able to invite my friend Jade, and she really enjoyed herself. Y'all, we made candles, we made affirmation jars, it was good food, we talked, we played games. It was such a good time, so I'm so glad I did not miss that Galentine's Day event. And we plan on having more of those events, of course, every year. But also, it just kind of started, I think it kind of started with my birthday brunch. I don't know if I mentioned this in the testimonial previously, but I hosted an all-girls birthday brunch for myself. And it just started like the consistency of bringing us together as women. We're all 30, late 20s, and we're all around the same age, and we're all going through some of the same things. So it was really nice to be able to fellowship with them at my birthday brunch. And since then, we've consistently been trying to be intentional about spending time with one another. So the Galentine's Day was the second event of the year for all of us. And I invited all of my friends. Taylor and Bria invited all of their friends, and it was just such a good time. So now that we're in March, we actually have a dinner planned the end of March. Although it's a small group of us, we definitely plan on planning more stuff throughout the year, and we've been being really intentional about it. So I'm thankful that we were able to do that. On February 11th, Jordan and I slept in and then watched church. I also received $75 from MaudeSense in my PayPal account. I got $25 from the Black History feature and $50 for a blog post. So it felt good. It felt good sleeping in that day, and we were still able to attend church virtually, so that's nice. And then, of course, I got some money. So the MaudeSense Black History Month feature, I received $75 for that, and then $50 for a blog post that I submitted. So that was a really nice day. On February 12th, I submitted my client's mood board to her. It felt good to be back in the swing of things, and I can't wait to transform her style and confidence. Patrice, the woman with Primerica, also scheduled me for the last 2 classes that I needed to take for my life insurance license, and I'm looking forward to reaching out to the people on my list who I think will be interested in the opportunity. I also pray that I'll be able to study and retain the information necessary for me to pass the test the first time around. I keep praying for that, y'all, because it's a lot of information that I learned in that life insurance class, and I'm just afraid that I'm not going to remember everything. But I'm praying. I am praying.